What's up, y'all? So on this episode of the podcast, we address everything that's been going on this week. We filmed it a few days ago, so it's not as up to date, but we're having the conversation, and it's just me and Rick having a conversation like we normally do. But I figured the best thing for me to do in this particular subject is to let Rick kind of talk his shit, because I don't know if y'all noticed, but he's black. And just really support him and support what he's saying and support what he feels, we're not perfect. I don't say the perfect things all the time when it comes to stuff like this, but we're having a real conversation, and I'm just trying to do what I can to help and support. That being said, I also put some links in the description below to some charities and GoFundMes that I've personally donated to just to help out. We got a GoFundMe for George Floyd's family. We got a GoFundMe for businesses in Long Beach that need some help rebuilding from everything. And also I got a link to Bail Project, which of course helps people that have been arrested unjustly during the protests and whatnot. All right. So enjoy the podcast. Thank you for watching. And stay safe out there. All right. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the No Chaser Podcast. I'm Chantarangsu.
I'm Ricky Shucks.
And I'm Nikki Blades. You might notice I skipped the song this week because it's been a crazy week.
It has.
The world is on fire.
It is. Before we get too serious, because it's going to get there, I would just like to draw attention to my pillow. The reason that I keep hanging on to this pillow is because Tim likes to use the wide thing. It shows more of my lower half than I would appreciate.
More of his wide thing than he would appreciate.
And I don't like the potential of my junk print being seen. So I keep a pillow, and it kind of blocks my tummy a little bit too. So,
and as you can see, I am holding a pillow in solidarity with my wide-thanged friend.
It's not that wide. I just want to point that out.
I'm always sitting Indian style, so my shit just kind of falls into my butt crack anyways.
I don't know how to work my junk. It don't do what it's supposed to do. So the pillow stays.
Oh man! And also, hey, before we get too serious here, because it will get there. I just want to say, at some point during this podcast, an ad will randomly pop up that is out of my control. Just, to keep this shit going, it needs ads sometimes. And I just want to make sure it's not in the middle of some super serious, and then, this Beachbody ad is going to pop up, because it will.
That would... people need to laugh. That would be funny.
So just keep in mind, around the 10-minute mark, I'm going to start talking about Beachbody, all right? And it might even feel a little abrupt, depending on what we're talking about.
I felt like I could have lost my Beachbody rings. Like, shit, Tim. God damn.
Oh, man. But it's been a crazy week. It was looking, news was getting good for a little bit, because like LA was just kind of opening up again. You know what I'm saying? I hit my barber. I hit Vince. I was like, yo, son, you ready? He was like, I'm here, bro. I'm here. Let's get it. Restaurants were opening up again. I wasn't about to go eat.
Yeah. People were pretending COVID doesn't exist. It was great.
I was definitely ready to let that first wave of people go eat, go party, go do whatever for like that first month before I kind of step back onto it, But then, shit is crazy right now. Yeah. And understandably so. People have been rioting and, people have been protesting all over the country.
And opportunists have been rioting.
Right. And people have been, and other people who are not a part of the protests at all have been all in the mix, instigating. There's lots of video evidence of that. And even evidence that Rick saw firsthand.
Yeah. So I was part of the protests yesterday in downtown LA, Pershing Square to be exact. And it was interesting to be out there. Initially, I didn't want to go. I promised family members that I wouldn't go. But Tway woke up really feeling like she needs to do more.
Yeah.
And I get that feeling. Remember, we had that feeling a while back.
Yeah, when we went.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Well, quick before you get into that, real quick, I remember when we went to those protests a couple years ago. I remember hitting you up like, "Yo, you trying to go?" And you were like, "Man, not if you about to be vlogging and shit."
Yeah.
I was like, "I promise you, I'm not trying to vlog. I'm not even gonna take no selfies, dog. Let's just go. Let's just be a part of it." You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, first of all, let's acknowledge the fact that we had to do this a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like, and that is not even the start of this shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so she was hell bent on going alone. She just needed to be out there, and there was no way I was gonna let her go alone. You know what I'm saying? And before anybody asked, the reason why I was kind of anti-going is because the last time when we did go, I felt a sense of uselessness afterwards. We marched to the police station in Beverly Hills, and nothing came of it. They didn't even come out and talk to us. Remember?
Right.
There was absolutely no police presence. Well, I take that back. They were like escorts, I guess you could say, but nothing came of it, and that did not sit well with me.
Right.
But anyway, I went yesterday, and it was very interesting. When I got there was probably about 12 people. It quickly grew to hundreds of people.
What area were y'all in?
We were in Pershing Square, downtown LA.
Okay.
And when it was the 12 people, we were just marching around the square. And almost immediately, we get cars pulling up on the side of us, yelling out "All Lives Matter." Like, damn.
Just like that.
Yeah, like this is a small thing right now, and you felt the need to just yell that out. It was so dope. The first car that did that, it was two white people, and there was a white guy behind me, and he just jumped into action immediately. He runs out in the middle of the street up to their car and just takes pictures of them.
Oh shit!
Like, and you can see their faces like, "Fuck, where that guy now?" It's like, good job, dude. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we're protesting, but we're just walking. It's pretty peaceful. There's cops on every side of the square. They're not bothering anybody. We're not bothering them. It's a peaceful situation.
Right.
The crowd grows, and we no longer fit on the sidewalks.
Okay.
We take to the streets. Still no real resistance until we get to about like City Hall, where we were supposed to be going. We're met with resistance. They're not letting us go through for whatever reason. And they're saying stuff like, "Get any closer, we'll give you something to protest," and all this type of shit. And it's like, yo, the police. Okay. It's like, what's the point of that, right?
Yeah.
But this protest was specifically supposed to be peaceful. So we turned around. We said, don't give them what they want. We turned around. We went a complete different way. When we're coming back through like the where people live, there's people throwing shit from the windows
of their houses.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't a crazy amount. I don't want to put anything out there as if it was a crazy amount. Yeah, but there was a girl right in front of me. She had her sign, and her sign got hit by something, and it's spinning. And I'm like, is that a fucking canister? Wow. But then I see it was like a little glass jar that people would put weed in. And it's like, that shit thick. Yeah, like it didn't break. Yeah. This shit is thick. That could have really fucked her up. But people just be angry, bro. I don't get it. So anyway, we get back to the square, and now there's a ton of us. Got to be about 800 people at this point. We're crossing the street. All the cars are waiting. They're waiting. Some of us cross. We hold. We let them go through. Some of us cross. Then at the end of it, a fucking cop decides, I'm not waiting. Yeah. And he tries to go through. Why would you, of all people, try to break through the protest against you? Right. So, of course, he's met with chants, you know what I'm saying, directed towards him. And instead of just stopping and waiting for everyone to cross, instead of backing up, this motherfucker accelerates forward. Yeah. And what I didn't realize is he definitely hit a person. But in the first video I posted and from my vantage point, another person was in front of that person.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I couldn't see.
The guy that kind of slipped.
Yeah. And the guy who slipped, he was going towards the car, then the car accelerated. He tried to go back and fell and almost got ran the fuck over.
Yeah, I know. That was almost all bad.
Yeah. But while that was happening, on behind him, a kid did get hit. And he fucking falls back too. I didn't realize that till I saw the other angle from across the street. And from the other angle, you could see that they were already in front of the cop car. He sees them.
Oh yeah, I definitely saw that.
Like, why would you do it? Because, and I bring that up because people were trying to fight me on the first video. That kid clearly jumped in front of the car. He did it on purpose. He didn't get hit. He jumped on the ground. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
You telling me this kid was like, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna jump in front of a speeding fucking SUV.
That's how
I know he's not gonna hit me.
Right.
Like, so ridiculous. But even with that, we didn't react the way they wanted us to react. After that, nothing really went down. I probably had a slight personal issue. I seen some dudes who came late who were not there the whole time. They were not black, and they started spray painting on businesses.
Okay.
BLM, Black Lives Matter. So I step in, I'm like, yo, you can't do that shit. It was almost an altercation. We ended up talking like men. It got squashed. As far as I know, those were the only actual fucking incidents, right? Now, around 4-ish, my feet hurt me. I'm fat. My knees hurt, all this shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to cut back. It's time for me to call it a wrap. But I'm keeping in touch with the homie J-Taj who came out with me. He says they're at City Hall now. And now they're about 1,000 deep in front of City Hall. Peaceful still. And on the way back to the car, we get the alert, the fucking curfew alert.
Yeah.
It says 8 p.m.
Right.
Makes sense. By 5:18, we get another alert that says 6 p.m. Where all these people are in front of City Hall just trying to be heard. I'm like, what kind of shit is this? We're still trying to get out of the city because it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
We're driving past the most heavily armed guards I have ever seen in my life. Crazy ass guns. I ain't never seen no shit like this. I'm like, have y'all not been watching?
Yeah.
Nothing's happened. Why are you doing this? But yeah, they pulled the little early curfew shit. They did the same thing in Santa Monica. They cut it off even earlier.
Yeah.
Just right now, I got a text saying Long Beach got shut down at 1 p.m. Like, they're really trying to stop people's voices.
It's crazy because it was pretty fucked up how they did that so last minute. Because, you know, I got the first alert for 8 p.m. and I was like, okay, I'm sure Rick will be back home by then. Because I knew you were out there. And then when they hit it, like, all of a sudden with the 6 p.m., I was like, yo, are you home? Make sure you get home, bro.
Everybody was hitting me. And I appreciate y'all for that. But yeah, it was pretty ridiculous because they were ready, man. Like the cops had the rubber bullets. You know what I'm saying? The National Guard did not.
Damn, that's scary. What's crazy is, and Jay Taj posted about this too, is the people that live downtown and when the police was shooting into the windows, the rubber bullets and shit.
Yeah, because of what I said earlier, people were throwing things. But it's like, you shooting into people's houses now?
Yeah, like that's crazy.
You are protected. You have on your riot gear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You mad at an egg that you gonna shoot fucking... What if you hit somebody in the eye with your fucking rubber bullet?
Man, for real. That fucked the whole eye up.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, I imagine it's a distance from the ground to J Taj's apartment, which is on the 3rd floor. His girlfriend got hit with a rubber bullet and got a big ass fucking bruise. Well, it wasn't huge, but it's still bruised.
Yeah, looks
from
painful.
that far away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Y'all are shooting people damn near point blank range with them things on the street. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Real quick, there would normally be an ad right here, but Cash Media and the No Chaser podcast want to take this time to specifically address how important activism is and highlight a charity that I've donated to specifically because I feel like right now protests are such an important part of the movement. I've been donating to the Bail Project, which helps people that get arrested unjustly get out of jail. And, I feel like right now with the super early curfews and a lot of people getting in trouble just for being out and about, I think the Bail Project is really a charity that is helpful. So if you guys want to donate, there's a link in the description. Anything helps. Also, there'll be links to other charities in the description that I feel are important. So thank you guys for watching, and thanks for donating. All right, guys, now I told you I was going to talk to you in the middle of this thing, and, real quick, we're all at home right now, chilling for the most part, and one thing that I've always talked about is how much I'm trying to stay fit, and I can't go to the gym right now, but it's beautiful because we got Beachbody on demand where you can work out from the comfort of your own home, okay? Beachbody on demand is the easy-to-use streaming service that gives you instant access to over 1,300 super effective workouts suited for anybody at any time, and the secret to getting results is getting started, all right? Now, y'all know me. I did Beachbody a couple years ago. That was at my fittest. I was doing the 21-day fix. My favorite workout is that Dirty 30. It gets me feeling nice and pumped, nice and swole. And that was when I was looking real sexy. Chia was really liking my physique at that point. She don't like it as much right now, but that's why I need to get back on this Beachbody. They give you some of the best trainers: Tony Horton, Joel Freeman, Autumn Calabrese. This is who I use for 21-day fix. And you can work out on your own schedule with workouts as short as 10 minutes where you don't even need no extra equipment, all right? Access it anywhere, at any time, on your computer, your tablet, smartphone, whatever, all right? And guess what? Guess what, guys? Just for you guys, you can try it for absolutely free, okay? All you gotta do is go right now. You get a free trial membership when you text No Chaser to 303030, okay? You will get access to the entire platform for free, all the workouts, the nutrition information, and support totally free. Again, just text No Chaser to 303030. Well, someone came at me and they were like, Tim, how would you feel if like your family's restaurant was one of the restaurants that got like damaged, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, it's like, yeah, it would have been fucked up if that would have happened, right? Of course I would have been upset. And of course I feel for like the independent small business owners, right? But at the end of the day, that shit can be rebuilt, and I understand why people are angry. I understand why black people are mad. Like sometimes the biggest arguments in my comments when I posted any types of anything about the protests were people angry about the damage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking like, bruh, if Target and Nordstrom can come out and be like, yo, we get it.
Yeah.
Then I think there's something bigger going on, This shit's rebuildable.
All of it is. Like, you can't bring back a life, though. And here's the thing I want to say to the people with that shit. I don't think anybody, even the people doing it, think that rioting and looting and vandalizing shit is going to get justice or it's the right thing to do. Nobody's trying to do the right thing at that point. They're fed up.
Mm-hmm.
They are extremely fed up. They cannot lash out the way they want to. We can't eye for an eye this situation. We can't go kill cops and get away with it the way they can kill us and get away with it. People are pissed the fuck off. But with that being said, your anger at businesses being broken into, looted, vandalized, should never be bigger than your anger about innocent people being killed. I don't care what race they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know damn well if it was somebody who looked like you and it was happening all the time, you wouldn't be that fucking logical.
Mm-hmm.
Stop focusing so much on the reaction and put some more anger towards the initial action. None of this shit happens if they aren't murdering unarmed people.
Right.
Most of the people rioting and looting are opportunists. They are not the same people that were protesting peacefully during the day. Some of them are. Some of them are. I'm not even going to say that, but a lot of them are just people who are like, fuck it, let's take advantage. Let's take advantage. But if you don't murder these people don't protest. And if there's no protest, there's no opportunity for the looting and shit. So get mad at the actual problem. It makes no sense for you to be so disgusted at this as if you don't know this came from that.
And that's the thing about it. When someone sent me, like someone tagged me in a video of like an old Asian man in his shop, like getting fucked up. And like, of course I feel for that. Of course I feel for that being like, you know, my parents owned their business for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Of course I understand like the struggle that this old Asian man is going to have to go to rebuild. Right. But the thing about it is, and it's not something you can like compare. Right. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, but he didn't die.
Exactly.
He didn't die. And I know, like, you can't really, and it's so silly to feel like you have to paint that as a picture to like, look, guys, this is fucked up, but did he die?
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? Like, this whole thing is about someone getting killed, you know?
And it's not someone. It's a bunch of people. It's literally, it's centuries of this shit.
Right.
If you want to get realistic about it, it's an extreme hurt. It's an extreme fear as well. Do you know how it feels to be a 20 something year old person who has to think about their kids that they don't even have yet, dealing with the same shit they're dealing with right now? Do you know how much it sucks to realize that your parents dealt with this when they were your age and their parents dealt with worse? And it's not changing.
Right.
It sucks. It definitely sucks that people, innocent people's businesses are getting fucked up. That shit is terrible. But think about how terrible shit has to be for that to happen. Think about how whack it is that we have to do shit like that to get a point across, to get acknowledged, to get some form of justice. They didn't arrest that cop right away. And that's fucking weird. But truth be told, that's what happens with cops. Typically, it will take a couple of months for a cop to be charged with shit like this. But what happened right after is the reason that it only took 4 days. Now, I don't want to say, this is what we got to do.
Right.
But that's what this country is telling us we got to do. They're telling us you're not going to get results unless you do some shit that makes us want to give you results. And that's terrible. And that's something you should be mad at. Be mad at the fact that we have to beg to be treated right. Do y'all not realize that what we're asking for shouldn't be asked for? It should just be. The fact that we have to ask in any type of way is fucking ridiculous. But it's not ridiculous to y'all? I don't get it.
Let's fucking pray that he gets convicted.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they just announced today that they're ruling it a homicide is awesome, because initial reports was they was trying to say it was some other shit.
Right. It was his pre-existing conditions or whatever. But thank God, because, you know, I read that at first and I was like, shit, there it goes. It's
gonna get worse.
And then I saw that, like, someone was like, that's just a pre-diagnosis or whatever. They can't even really get the full results until like a couple weeks later. So now that shit finally came out. Okay, it's ruled as a homicide, which is dope. You know.
And now we need the conviction.
Yeah, now we need the conviction. It's crazy because, you know, bro, I was literally halfway through writing my video to Asian people, to like dealing with all the harassment from the corona shit, you know, because I was like, all right, cool, let me gather my thoughts and really make like a full-on statement just to like encourage my Asian people through all the harassment and racism going on. And then that shit happened. I was like, I'm not gonna make this video right now. This is not the time right now to talk about some Asian struggles. It's like we got to talk about this right now. You know what I'm saying? And it gets so silly when, you know, when you talk about that man that yelled out "All Lives Matter," and I feel like I don't understand that people don't understand why people get upset at "All Lives Matter" yet. I feel like we've been explaining it for so long.
It's pretty ridiculous. Like, I don't get it. I hate the fact that you constantly have to give analogies for them to understand it. Like, I shouldn't be able to tell you something as simple as, if this house is on fire, would you go and put water on all the other houses that aren't on fire for you to get it? This is people's lives. Like, how does it not mean something to you off top?
Right. I mean, at this point, you know, because like you said, we've been to protests for prior incidents. When the Black Lives Matter shit started, and I felt like since then I've seen super and heard super like conservative hosts and shit be like, okay, I get it. You know, why would I, you know, go up to somebody with a broken back and say, okay, yes, but my wrist is broken too. You know, like I've heard people understand this now. The fact that there are people our age
that don't get it.
It's crazy.
And you know what? I try to make myself see other people's point of view. I try to get how you can get it. And I know there's some people that are angry. I know a lot of Asian people right now specifically who are on that All Lives Matter. It shouldn't just be about Black people, and a bunch of other things that are not well timed, I should say. And I see why. I don't see how y'all don't see why you shouldn't, though. Like, I get it. Coronavirus just happened. Immediately, the world turned against Asians. That's upsetting. It makes you feel away. It makes you feel like, what about me? That's been us forever. It's always been, what about me for us?
Right.
The fact that you can feel the way you feel about something that's happening to you one time should tell you everything you need to know about how we feel, because this shit's been happening literally forever in terms of our time in this country.
So I was like, for this episode of the podcast, let me just get on, let Rick talk his shit. As somebody who has an audience, you know, I was like, let me give a platform to one of my best friends who happens to be Black. Let you talk your shit and let you, you know, tell it in your perspective. Because, you know, as much as, you know, I grew up around like Black friends and of course was influenced by Black culture and hip hop music. It's like, I would never understand fully what you go through. You know what I'm saying? And of course I have my struggles, just as Tim and as an Asian dude, you know, but I will never understand what you go through, especially during a time like this.
And that's something I want to talk about for other people too, though. When you have people outside of your race who want to be an ally, don't be a dick to them. I'm seeing a lot of people trying and maybe not knowing exactly how to do it and being met with anger and resistance as if they're not trying. We got to cut that shit out. Help. A lot of people are saying, it's not my job to teach you. And that may be true. But if you're going to critique, be willing to point in the right direction. So any of you non-Black people who would like to know if the shit you're doing or saying is offensive or wrong or what you could be doing different, hit me up. I will teach you. I am not against teaching you about this shit because we're going to need as many people as we can. a lot of people are starting to realize it's not black versus white. It's really on some good versus evil. And that's not to say white people are evil. That's to say evil people are evil. And the evil people who happen to be white are the people with the power and the control. So we need to be the people with the numbers. So anybody who is not black, who doesn't feel the same way as the evil people, get on board.
You know, and that's the thing. As somebody who, you know, we've been around and on the internet before things got quote unquote woke, right? And you know, we come from a time where people would say times were different, and times were different. I mean, like, not as different, and I'm not mad at people evolving and media changing and you know, things that were acceptable back then aren't acceptable now. It's like we've been learning through this whole thing too, right? But as somebody who's kind of been in also certain positions where it's like, oh, I didn't know maybe something I said about a certain culture was ignorant, or something I said about certain people was like not the right thing to say. I definitely appreciated when somebody was able to break it down to me without biting my head off for it. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that like it's your responsibility to teach me. Like, yes, I know Google exists, but even when I've been in like Twitter conversations with somebody and I'm just trying to have a conversation, when my followers are like attacking that person, I gotta stop and be like, chill. I'm not trying to do that. We're just talking right now. You feel me?
Yeah. Everybody's common sense is different. Common sense is based on what's common to you. So don't just expect everybody to know what you know. Some people are not gonna know. And if you want them to know, be the one to fucking tell them. Be the one to tell them. And I've been telling a lot of motherfuckers for the past few days, man. It's crazy how many people I've lost respect for. How many people I've had to unfollow or cut ties with. And if anybody who I have talked to personally about this, I'm not talking about you right now. We had our discussion. But there's a lot of other people who I'm just like, damn, that's really how you think. And it sucks because when you challenge them in any way, it's just like a wall.
Right.
I don't want to hear it, especially if it's in public, if it's in the comments. The conversations that I have in comments versus DMs versus on the actual phone are so completely different.
They're ready to argue.
In comments, they are, bruh, I sent this dude a fucking paragraph of points. He sends back a one sentence reply to one of them that he felt he could negate.
This was in the comments?
Yeah, this was in the comments. Like, because he was talking that shit about the vandalism and all of that. And I gave him all these points, but one of the points was I stopped vandalism the other day.
Okay.
So don't try to tell me I'm for it. I just understand it. His response to that whole paragraph was just to that, saying, well, you should stop all the vandals. I'm like, bro, so you couldn't just say that makes sense.
Right.
Because of your ego, because how it looks. But in the DM, it's a lot more, oh, okay, I didn't think about it that way. I see what you're saying. On the phone, it's a lot different. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, don't be that person. Like, there's definitely shit I've learned, like you said, that I was doing wrong or that could have been fucked up. The whole struggle, the whole black struggle made me realize how deep the struggle is for women. You know what I'm saying? How oppressed women are and how people don't believe them and all types of shit. It's so many parallels between this fight and that fight. Where before I may have been these women be lying though.
Yeah.
You can't trust everything these women say. You know what I'm saying? I may have been one of those dudes. And I still know that that's the case sometimes.
Right.
But I get it more. I understand the plight. I understand how scary it is just to be a woman in a world where dudes do crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? I get it, and I'm not just going to fucking not believe them anymore. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to just hear a different perspective,
Right.
and accept the fact that yours could have been wrong.
Think people go into it thinking that someone else wants to fight.
Yeah.
You know, so they are automatically super defensive.
Yeah.
I feel like people on Instagram especially, or people that leave comments, they're leaving comments and they're like, let's see who's about to talk some shit. So
Yeah.
they're like fucking got their fangs out and shit.
Let's go. There's a girl, and if y'all know me, if you watch me, I ain't never said names when talking that shit. But this one deserves it. There's a girl. Her name is Nikki Park, I do believe.
Okay.
Hands down, the most despicable person I have seen throughout this shit.
Word.
The stuff she's saying is so inflammatory. It's so misguided. Her interpretation of things is so wrong. She's so bold with the shit she is talking, and it's really mind blowing.
What does she do?
What does she do?
Yeah, like what?
I don't know. I guess she was a import model at some point or something like that. Okay. I went to her page because somebody else was posting the shit she was saying, but I didn't look at her page. I just went to make sure, one, none of my friends was following her, because if so, I was about to get in y'all ass. And then just to see all the shit she was actually talking. And I replied to her, and I made sure I was respectful, because I wanted to cuss her the fuck out.
Right.
But I went into teaching mode.
Right.
Of course, she hasn't opened it or anything like that. But she was just saying some really ridiculous shit. Her whole thing is, it shouldn't be Black Lives Matter. It's all lives matter, right? And as fucking stupid as that is, I understand what people think they're saying when they say that.
Right.
This particular girl, no.
Okay.
I'm so fucking sick of this Black Lives Matters bullshit. Who the fuck says that?
Wow.
And then later tries to clear it up with, when I said bullshit, I wasn't calling the movement bullshit. I just cuss a lot. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? You said Black Lives Matter bullshit. Somebody, another Asian girl, had to tell her, like, I don't see what you don't get.
Yeah.
All lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Her interpretation of that was, it was super selfish. So she's saying that we have to matter for everyone to matter.
None of y'all matter unless...
Yeah.
Right.
How stupid do you have to be?
Yeah.
You can't use the word all unless all are included. So
Right.
if blacks are not included, it's not all. It's not saying you don't matter if I don't matter. You fucking idiot. I plan to not do this, but this girl, man, and she makes me wish I was a girl. So and I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that.
Right. I think, and that's the fucked up perception is her not understanding that Black lives aren't mattering.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not in her face enough where she realizes oh shit, Black people are getting killed for no reason. Man. And then when she sees people, saying Black Lives Matter, she almost feels like, what are you saying? What are you trying to say? You know what I'm saying? And that process is silly because it's you're not seeing what's going on.
Yeah. You do not wake up feeling like you don't matter because you're you.
Right.
Your life does not feel like this. And again, I understand people who are not Black that do not fully understand what we go through. But at least understand that we're going through something. You don't have to know exactly what it is, but know that it's real. And
and it's so silly because a lot of that comes from, I feel just not being around it, right? And it's and you can't be angry at someone for not having Black friends. That's where you grew up, whatever, right? But then it's when people are trying to tell you about it, you should be receptive to that. We talked on a past episode where, growing up around paramount, and going to school with like blacks and Mexicans and like a fairly diverse crowd. Of course, I got to know you as a friend, and although of course I've had my fair share of like racist altercations or whatever. I've never had a situation that we talked about in the past with you where a lady would see me and immediately like clutch her purse and be scared, or fucking like when the lady at my dad's restaurant locked the doors when y'all came walking up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never had no shit like that. Regardless of what I've gone through, the fact my proximity to you has shown me there are things that I have never experienced that I will never experience.
And be clear, we don't want y'all to experience it.
Right.
We don't want anybody to experience this shit. But what we want the most is for us to stop experiencing it. And it's so fucking weird that we have to ask for that. But again, I get it. That's what this shit is designed to do. They design the system so that you don't get it, and you don't get it, and you don't get it. So when it comes up, it's hard for you to believe. It's hard for you to fathom that this is really going on. It must be something else. He must have resisted. He must have did this. He must have did that. There's no way people are that evil. But wait, motherfucker. It happens. It's real. It is a real thing. Do people play the race card when it wasn't about race? Yes, they do. It happens. The same way a lot of other shit happens. But the race card only exists because it actually happens.
So let me ask you this, man. When do you think the protesting will stop?
This current protest will stop when there's some form of justice. At this point, all we want are the parties involved to be held accountable. Arrest those other 3 officers.
And fuck that Asian cop too, man. I was so mad, bro. I was so mad when I saw like that dude was Asian. I was like, come on, man.
Like, what? Why? Why do you stand there? Like, okay, we're going to get into this. I was going to save this for a video on my own channel, but we're going to get into it. Good cops. So I've had so many arguments with people about good cops. Now, I want to say this first and foremost. I believe some good cops exist. You're going to have to convince me that more than some exist, though. But here's the thing, good cops. If you're allowing your bad counterparts to do the bad shit, can you really call yourself a good cop? I don't care how much you do your job the right way. That's your job. I'm not giving you a trophy for doing what you're supposed to do just because so many people on your force don't. That's not how this works. But if there's so many good cops, why is there still a need for the bad ones? Why do these people get to stay on the force 17, 18, 22 years with all these fucking complaints against them and not get removed? Do we not have enough good cops? So you got to keep whatever bodies you have? Make it make sense. If I'm a good cop and this shit is going down and I know there's nothing I can do about changing it, I'm not a cop anymore. I'm quitting that fucking job. It's one thing to do your part, but if you're not changing what else is going on, it doesn't matter, bro.
Right.
Like, I appreciate all the shit you do. I appreciate you putting your life on the line day in and day out, all of that. But let's not forget, this is what you signed up for. Nobody made you be a police officer. You enrolled in that academy.
And it's fucked up to think that, it's so ingrained into that system that it's like commonplace that there are bad cops, that probably like any good cops, of course, are scared of if they were to do something about it, they would lose their jobs, right?
Yeah,
and that's crazy.
Or their lives,
right?
These motherfuckers don't play.
Right. So that's crazy to think that like it's really is at a level where it's like, I'm sure most of them are just like, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the level that the world is at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we fucking fight. There's so many people who are just used to black people being treated poorly. That's just how it is. They can acknowledge that it sucks. That's so unfair. But at the end of it, the part that nobody voices is, but it is what it is. That's the problem. And if you're going to sit up here and say that that's not your thought, prove us wrong. Say something, do something, get involved somehow. You know what? I just got a fucking idea. Good cops. Send this to any good cop you know. If there's so many of you, quit your jobs. Quit your jobs and start a private security detail. Good politicians of the city, or county, or whatever. Hire those details. You know they have the experience. They've been on the force. They can do it. Hire them instead of giving the account to the current police that's filled with the bad ones. If there's so many good cops and you want to do your part and you want to make a change, do something to get rid of the bad ones that's not going to jeopardize you. You quit and start your own thing. You come police the communities as only the good cops and show us the fucking difference. Because we can't see it.
And look, and to be fair, if someone broke into my house, of course I'm gonna call the cops. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's what you're supposed to be able to do.
Right. Call the cops and hope for the best, you know, and then hopefully something can be done. And hopefully, like, it's somebody that, you know, has that is there for good reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we've all had our negative and positive experience with the police. And it's just it's a scary time right now. It's weird, you know.
Yeah, it's weird, but I like it.
Oh, you like? Well, I mean,
I like it because that means something's changing. I ain't never seen that many non-black people unified with black people in my life. I had never seen so many non-black people posting about it online, but not just a hashtag, actually something to say.
Yeah, man. That's the thing about it too, is like, you know, and we've talked about this too, where when shit happens and sometimes it feels like you don't want to post something when it feels like this is just because people want you to post something, you know, virtue signaling, as they say, right? Where you feel like, where it seems like someone's doing it just to show that they care. And that's why sometimes I'm like, I'm really, you know, I want to make sure, like with this current situation, I was like, let me post something where I feel like I'm actually doing something, right? Because, you know, of course people were looking at me to post something in support, specifically because, you know, I'm very, you know, influenced by like black music and black culture, and I was on a predominantly black TV show, and I get that. Like, of course, a lot of my career and what I do is like, you know, is a part of like black music and black shows. It's like I mean, even like De La Ghetto is from, like, you know, of course, Will Smith, a black TV show, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I think some people were like, yo, Tim, where's your post? Where's your post? Like, immediately, right? But I'm like, give me a second to just kind of do this how I want to do this, you feel me? So that's why I was like, when I posted something, I was like, let me post a link to, like, help his family out, help George Floyd's family, like, help, you know, post some links to help the protesters if you want to help the protesters. Sometimes, you know, it does get to a point where you feel like, Am I gonna post something? Like, do I really care about this, or am I doing this just because people are putting pressure on me? You know?
Yeah. I want to call out to all my people to stop doing that. Stop trying to bully people into posting. One, there's a lot of people who don't just want to say, this is bad. They want to take some time and figure out exactly how they're going to word what they say, how what they're going to say is going to make an impact. But two, if they are the people who don't want to say anything, you need to know that. Don't force them into putting up some bullshit just to cover their ass.
Right.
Wait and let them expose themselves. If they are the people who wish to remain quiet, let their ass remain quiet and do what you need to do accordingly. Unfollow, block, whatever, feel how you want to feel. But forcing doesn't help. And there's some really stubborn people who were about to post, and then you hit them with the "where's your post at?" and they say, "Well, fuck it then. I'm not gonna post anything." But fuck all that, man. I'm seeing so many people actually getting active out there with some real shit, not forced. They've just been triggered.
Yeah.
And that's fucking dope.
I see. The thing about it is I don't even feel like, normally I'm trying to post on Instagram like 3 times a day and shit, you know?
That's
and it's
what
like,
I'm about to bring up.
And I don't even feel right posting anything at this time if it doesn't have to do with what's going on. I feel crazy trying to post something like funny or a fucking food picture while this shit's going on.
And that's so many other people, bro. I'm keeping track. I'm noticing people are not giving you the "this is really sad, I hope it changes," and then 20 minutes later, "check out my merch," or "here's a video to make us laugh in these dark times." Like, a lot of people are not doing that. Some people are, and hey, it is what it is. Yeah. But a lot of people are getting the weight of the situation right now. It's sad that the more people that are getting it, the more people are coming out showing that they don't get it. Right. But I mean, I guess it's time to be revealed.
Man, look, especially for me, look, admittedly, I'm not the most eloquent when it comes to speaking about shit like this, you know? So that's why I would rather retweet somebody who is better with saying stuff like this about topics like this, or retweet or repost something. Because I'm like, if you are expecting me to really come out with something that hasn't been said yet about this, I feel like I don't even know if it's necessarily my place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
get that.
Like, I kind of like especially like for example, right now I'd rather you come on here and take charge on this one. You know what I'm saying? Because I really just want to, like, if anything, just be supportive. You know?
Yeah, because I mean, it's a lot. But see, so what it is right now with a lot of people, they don't give a fuck about being PC, or not that you're trying to be PC, or just how it comes across. People are so fed up that they just gonna say it how they feel it. And if you got a problem with it, fuck you. That's how a lot of people are feeling. So I think that's why so many more people are speaking up. This shit was so egregious that there's people who don't understand how you could feel any other way. Right. So it's just like, this is what it is. I don't need to see both sides or express how I feel about this side or that side. This is what's going on right now. This is what's important. All the rest of that shit can be handled later. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, interesting times. I definitely want peace for everybody, though, and equality for everybody. And I wish the others would realize that a win in this fight will be a win for everybody. If we can get them to like us, y'all gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? There is a people, though. There is a people that I want to apologize to. Okay. The Native Americans. Don't nobody seem to give a fuck about them. In more ways than one. We don't hear shit about the shit they go through, have been going through. Like, and that people and my people should be a lot closer. They stole your land and then stole our bodies and put us on it. It's real fucked up. Yeah. Do you have any Native followers?
Do I have any native
followers?
I'm sure I do. I'm sure I have some Native American followers. Yeah.
And sound off in the comments, man. Let us know what's going on. Let us know what we can be involved in for y'all. Because that shit crazy.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, and it kind of just gets like not necessarily swept under the rug, but I feel like it's kind of something that just gets like shrugged off. You know, like you don't really hear a whole lot about it.
It's because it's so vast. The magnitude of both of these situations is so fucking big. People don't know how to start. How do you tackle something that big? So they would rather just act like it doesn't exist or it's okay now. It was so long ago. But look, you're here. You're progressing. We're in the greatest nation in the world. All that bullshit because they don't want to deal with the fucking shit from the past. But the problem with the shit from the past is it's still happening. So how you feel about booty? Fuck, never gonna lighten this mood.
I mean, that's why I was like, maybe they don't even need to be lightened. And this episode, it is what it is, and because it's a reflection of the times we're in. Yeah. And fuck, it's June. Yeah. It is June 2020. Yeah. Like, we are damn near halfway done with this year.
It's like it started off so fucked up so fast, and we were like, damn, it's barely February. Yeah. And it's crazy because now it's the middle of the year and shit is still fucking up.
It's getting worse and worse.
We genuinely might go an entire year of chaotic ass life. This makes me feel really bad for the Middle Eastern countries. Who've been going decades in chaos and shit like that. Like there's so much going on right here. So let's try to get every fucking win we can get.
Yeah, and look, I know this sounds crazy, but let's pray too, man.
Yeah.
I talk to God pretty, consistently here and there. We have little casual conversations, but I've been praying too, man, more so than usual. Like, Lord, something's gotta give and get better during 2020.
In the illustrious words of the most petty motherfucker on earth, every night I talk to God, but he don't say nothing back. I know he protected me, but I still stay with my gat.
Okay.
This shit's crazy out here.
And
50 Cent.
Yes. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching, listening to another episode of the No Chaser podcast. I haven't really been putting shit on my channel except the podcast, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I'll leave a bunch of links below to where you can donate to a bunch of different things if you want to help out somehow. Make sure you follow Ricky Shucks and, DM him on Instagram if you want to have a conversation. Yeah. Thanks for listening. I'm Tim Chantarangsu.
I'm Ricky Shucks.
And I'm Nikki Blaze. Bye.